Hello, I'm Stacey Vlahos, and for my final project, I created a web page for teachers to use in our school system. And I hope that this is something we can build on every year. And I would like to serve as part of the leadership on this multicultural, multilingual committee that I hope to add at our school. The name of my website is Fostering ELLs, and with the increasing number of limited English speaking students we have, I think this is a professional development that's very important. At the beginning of my website, I have resources for teachers, for students they can give to their students, and for these parents. On the left side, I have what kinds of things are we doing, or what kinds of things should we be doing for all students. And I've created a survey for the teachers to take. And if you click here, pull up another window, and they can take this survey. And actually, all of these questions came from the chapters of the book we read titled Working with English Language Learners, Answers to Teachers' Top Questions. I wanted the teachers to answer these questions first before we did this book study, which I actually have planned for not this school year, but the next school year, so 2010, 2011. But I wanted them to just start thinking about these questions before we got into that book study. And they're just the 10 questions from those chapters. In the middle, we have the book study for this year, which is The Myths and Realities. The reason I chose this one first is because I think that looking at the makeup of my school, it was important that we looked at these myths and realities first, because right now we have a low percentage of students who fall under this ELL category, but I think that's going to be changing every year. The teachers or faculty members, anybody who participates in this book study, the book study is actually going to start in September, and it's all online, so the teachers will be able to do it on their own time. But all the participants are going to be invited to a student-free catered professional lunch in December. At this lunch, we will have parent volunteers take your kids to lunch and bring them back to your classroom for a story. But basically, the teachers are going to have an hour lunch without the children. The administration is going to provide a catered lunch, and we're going to do some book talks. If you click here, it'll have the information for another site I created, which is the online book study, right here on the right. And if you click on that, the teachers have questions to answer as they go along. And at the lunch, we will look at the results of all of our online input. And also, I have listed national and professional organizations for fostering this education with multicultural, multilingual students and parents. It's on the same website that I created for the book study, and they're right here on the left. The teachers can go use these as resources. Here's other professional organizations for any questions they may have, or if they want to join. How much do you know about working with multilingual students? True-false quiz that they can take. It's kind of fun to look at the results, which are also on here. And then the biggest thing that I've worked on, besides the professional development and beginning these book studies, is the Diversity Day project, which is going to give all students in the school an opportunity to look at their individual families and discover their roots. The project is very simple. They're going to be doing it all primarily at home. If the teachers choose to do any extra activities in their classroom, there are links here. The assignments are going to consist of interviewing a family member, labeling a family tree. It goes back at least 3 generations. Charting a path on a map of how their ancestors got to the United States. And they'll just put those 3 things together. Oh, and one more thing, I'm sorry. They're going to also listen to a story about their family history it can be from the same person they interviewed or a story that's been passed down, and they're just going to write it and publish it. They can either publish it on the computer or they can handwrite it. The interview, the story, the family tree, and their little map of the world that they made the path either with yarn or it gives them a couple of options. They're just going to display these on their desks, and we have a schedule where classes will be coming through and looking at their project. Their project just needs to be able to fit on their desk, and I'm going to kick that off with the teachers at the October faculty meeting is what my administrator and I decided at the October faculty meeting with a little history of my family and sharing some cookies that we used to make when we were little. Have some assessment for the students. The extensions are over here. There's great extensions for bilingual students, classroom decor they can do in their room, mapping. I've got a map that you can put in your classroom. I have the link the teachers can click on and they can follow all of their students' paths. There's some art projects and a persuasive paper. I do that because my 5th graders write a lot. All the documents that the teachers will need are right here on the side. Here is the family tree. Sorry, it's taking a minute to pull up. Let's see. Let me try that again. Okay, it's ready now. The family tree that they print out, like I said, it's 3 generations, so the teachers will print those out. There is the family interview document. And they have 3 questions that they're asking that everybody asks, and then I let them make up at least 3 more that they come up with on their own. There's the world map. It has all the countries. And I apologize, it's taken forever to pull up. And then there's story, which they will listen to a story. Okay, there's our map for everybody to use. And a page from history, and that's going to be their little family story that has been handed down generation to generation or by word of mouth. They can do a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle. They're supposed to listen closely to the story, and it has to be something that's related to them actually being here today, including why someone came to the United States or why they settled in their hometown, wherever that may be. And like I said, they have the choice of publishing on the computer or handwritten. So that's the Diversity Day website that I also created, and that is scheduled for April 30th, 2010, and the focus is where in the world do we all come from? And our next book study, they're my references. Like I said, for the 2011-2000 school year is over here. Next year's book study is Working with English Language Learners, and it's going to answer those top 10 questions from the survey that the teachers are going to take at the beginning of the school school year. And that is it.